to the MMA Fan Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Stu and Blake.
Hello and welcome to the MMA Fan Show. I'm Stu Whiffin, joining you this evening from a very frosty UK. Blake Harrison, where are you, my friend?
I am in Belgium. I walked into the hotel room in Brussels about 15-20 minutes ago. So it's been a bit of a mad time. I'm on 2 different jobs at the moment. Very lucky to be working 2 different jobs. But it's been mental. Monday was my first day off in about 12 days. So it's been a bit mad. I'm maybe a little bit tired.
But you're looking young, man. Every time that beard comes off, I just forget that, like, you've got a little baby face under there, haven't you?
I know. It's the thing. It's because everything around the chin is like a platinum white nowadays. So it really does age me up. So
Let's move on. I don't want to talk about the platinum white thing because I'm not going to come out of that very well.
What did that guy say? We went to a Cage Warriors event. Or was I there with my brother? I think I was there with my brother. And some bloke came up to me at a Cage Warriors event. And he was just like, "Oh, you all right, Neil? Oh, you're looking old." And I was like, "For fuck's sake." He was like, "I don't know who you are." Fucking hell.
That's so rude.
It's so rude. There was another thing where I had to get some trees trimmed back in my garden or whatever. And the guy that was giving me like the quote, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I didn't recognise you at first because you're much older now, aren't you? Especially with," and then just scratched his chin as if to indicate because of all the greys in your beard.
Thanks, mate. Anyway, I'll give you a call about that. And I'll be in touch.
Not
Fuck off.
I'm not going to pay you to insult me.
Yeah.
Sort out the trees and fuck off, mate. Yeah?
Absolutely. Well, I think you're looking fresh-faced anyway.
Thank you very much.
Don't grow the beard back. It makes you look really, really old.
Clearly.
Well, look, speaking of getting angry, you've been getting angry online, haven't you? I've been seeing on the old Instagram comments, there's been some back and forth, haven't there? I've not actually been keeping up to speed with it.
Do you know what I do?
Was it Aspinall based?
I delete Instagram every now and again just to have a bit of a break from it. So I don't know if someone's come back at me about that, but there was a couple of times where people have put like, "Oh, what do you mean Garn was smashing Tom?" But I'm like, yeah, I'm clearly talking about, I literally say in the clip, this is what people are saying. Not what I'm saying, people just don't listen properly.
No, and that's exactly it. Where we're going, like, I think we're saying something along the lines of like, because Garn was piecing him up, and people are just like casuals, and it was just like,
"Oh, tell me you haven't watched MMA for more than 2 months without telling me you haven't watched MMA for more than 2 months. Tell me you can fucking listen without telling me you can fucking listen."
Oh, someone's tired.
I know, yeah, I am. That's what I'm saying. It's all work and no play makes Blake Harrison angry on Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, we got a lot of fights to get hyped up about. So I'm curious to see if you're going to get angry or ecstatic about it, because man, we've got a stacked card. And look, we've missed a week last week because of work commitments from both of us, really. And we have had a couple of fight nights which we won't really touch on, but there was some fun scraps and there was some weird stuff as well.
There's been some madness going on in there. I mean, the whole Antidelia Waldo Cortez Acosta eye poke thing. Antidelia in the lead up to the fight was saying, "I've never poked anyone in the eye in like 30 fights," and then he did it in that fight.
Yeah, crazy.
And then obviously with him being Tom's teammate and everything. And then they restarted the fight, which my understanding is, to the letter of the law, they should never have restarted that fight. I mean,
so weird.
Cortez Acosta had the stall, he had all these things, and then they restarted the fight. Obviously, Ante Delia, huge adrenaline dump after thinking he's won the fight, then goes and gets knocked out in just a few seconds after they restart it. Obviously, Waldo Cortez Acosta does exactly the right thing and is like, "See, I got eye poked and I went and knocked him out." Obviously, I don't agree with that in terms of what happened with Tom. Just to clarify, I don't agree with that in terms of what happened with Tom, but if you're Waldo Cortez Acosta, that then begins a narrative of Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Tom Aspinall. So from him and his camp's perspective, he did exactly the right thing. And then obviously John Jones has piped up again and all these kind of things. Yeah.
Lots
I
of
don't know.
betting scandals, all sorts of
Betting
stuff going
scandals as
on.
well.
I know.
Alleged betting
Yeah,
scandals. We don't know
alleged.
exactly what's gone on, but there was
Alleged.
movements in a betting line, and then the very unlikely result played out as a lot of people gambled on it playing out. Oh, it's all a bit of drama. But look, we haven't been as, because we've had work commitments, we haven't been on top of that stuff the way maybe we normally would have done. But also, guys, sometimes I think this is the MMA fan show. This is not the MMA detective show. It's not the MMA journalist show.
Both of them are available on our Patreon.
Yeah. But, you know, we're the fan show. Do you know what? We got a stacked card this weekend, and we just want to talk about fun. But there's enough going on in the world. This is supposed to be my happy place where I come and I watch people do fantastic violence against each other. And that's what I want to see. Call me a sadist. I want to see crazy head kick knockouts, great grappling, submissions, and all this stuff. I don't really want to delve into the dramas of betting scandals and shit like that right now. I've got too much going on.
Well, look,
I just want to talk about 322 and how brilliant it is.
Calm down, all right? Because we could talk about welterweight division now, where we've obviously said head kick knockouts. We've seen a spectacular head kick knockout in a title fight in the welterweight division. But take a deep breath, because what I will say, in the main card, there is an Australian fighter fighting. And I know that you've got this ongoing thing where you just keep upsetting our Australian listeners. I don't know what your problem is, Blake. I've disassociated myself from those comments previously. So just take a breath and let's discuss this like grown men, all right? I'm talking about Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. I mean, I am so hyped for this, Blake.
I am so excited. I mean, rewind a few months, and it was, if we don't get Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, I'm going to be furious. I'm pissed off. That's the fight to make.
Yeah.
And there's a small part of me that goes, well, that still was the most intriguing fight. Yeah. But I am really excited about Jack Della versus Islam Makhachev. I think there's all sorts of questions about like size and can Jack stop takedowns and all these different things. But I think this is going to be a really brilliant fight. I think it's got the potential to be like a fight of the year contender if it goes long and it's dynamic and the momentum ebbs and flows in both directions. Equally, it's got the possibility of being quick finishes, maybe for either guy. I don't know. I think more so for Islam Makhachev than for Jack Della, but I think this is a phenomenal fight. And welterweight as a division right now is on fire. We're going to get Sean Brady versus Michael Morales on this card. Leon Edwards versus Prates on this card. Jack Della versus Islam Makhachev. And the week after that, we've got Ian Gary versus Bilal Muhammad. And just previously, we just saw Bonfim get a finish over, you know, slightly debatable, but was a finish over Randy Brown. So welterweight is absolutely on fire. There's going to be all sorts of
all of that
things happening after this.
And no one's mentioned the guy that's injured. Do you know what I mean?
Shavkat, you're absolutely right. I forgot about Shavkat. And there's Kamaru Usman as well, who's coming off a win.
I was training earlier. Shout out Liam Yearman, fights in Cage Warriors Academy shows. I was training with him today, and we was talking about all the fights that happened in that division. And isn't it mad that you think in title contention, like looking at all the fights that are happening, the people that probably aren't anywhere near getting a title shot are probably Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. And that's quite mad, isn't it?
I think Leon Edwards is far away. I don't know about Usman, you know. There's something like, I've heard people talking about if Islam Makhachev wins, will he just do sort of what John Jones did and call out the guy that he's not the GOAT, because GSP's the GOAT of welterweight, but the guy who still is active and was a pound for pound number one and was good, would he call out Usman just to get that defense under his belt and then ride off into the sunset and retire? I don't know. I think Usman may be closer than you think.
All right. We'll get to the. I mean, there's so many welterweights to talk about on tonight's show. But let's actually focus on Della Maddalena versus Makhachev. Can I just say, Blake? All right. When this got announced, I knew that Islam walks around quite heavy, and I've been watching the embeddeds and all the hype and that, and he's looking big for his size, and we all know that Makhachev, pound for pound, just he's incredible, absolutely incredible. Jack Della knocks him out.
You going straight into a prediction? Jack Della knocks out Islam.
Yeah, I think. So I'll rewatch Jack versus Belal, right? And don't get me wrong, I don't. Whatever Belal's game plan was so odd. Like he should have just done a Leon Edwards style approach to that fight. But every time he did try and shoot, Jack stuffed it really easily. And then when he went down, he got up quite easily. So look, I'm not saying Belal is as powerful a wrestler as Islam, but Belal's a very good wrestler, and Jack did not struggle with it. And I think Jack's going to be too strong for him, too big for him, and I think he's going to grind him down a little bit. I think he's going to just end up knocking him out fourth round. There you go.
Well, I
want it to happen so bad because I love JDM.
I know you do. I mean, you predicted him as champ for the end of the year or something, didn't you? In our predictions thing, I believe you did. Anyway,
yeah, last year I said he'd be champ this year.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, no one saw that coming. I still can't completely credit you with that. I think there was something fluky going on there. But I think what's interesting, I can't
believe you just stole that moment back from me.
I can't do it. I feel like something's wrong. Like that, you can't have picked that one out with any real logic and knowledge. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see the best Jack Della Maddalena we have ever seen in the octagon, and that really excites me. I think we're going to see a phenomenal version of JDM. Is that enough to beat who I think is the pound for pound best fighter on the planet at the moment? I'm not sure. Islam, as you said, is looking big, but it's the first time he's carrying that extra weight around in a fight, in a proper fight. And it's just, there's two big questions for me. How does Islam react to not just his own size difference, and maybe he's a bit slower and all those things, but also Jack's? It's the first time he would have been hit by a really great striker and a true welterweight. Like, I mean, for goodness sake, I mean, Islam Makhachev, one of the big criticisms you can have of him is he's not defended the belt against anyone that hasn't been a featherweight before. Moicano, Poirier, Volk twice, even Charles Oliveira, all at one stage, featherweights. Now he's fighting a guy that couldn't make lightweight. That's a big difference. And
that's such a good point.
And Jack is one of the people that is just like, he's striking so good, his boxing so good. If he lands clean on Islam, will Islam feel that and go, whoa, that's different. I've not felt that before. And will he start to struggle? If JDM can stop the takedowns and start putting Islam on the back foot like he did with Belal, it could be a really difficult night for Islam Makhachev. Having said that, we've certainly seen an evolution in Jack Della's takedown defense. Because if you rewind to Basil Havez took him down so often it was quite concerning.
Yeah.
Then Gilbert Burns was able to take him down a few times. And it was once they got up out of that situation, that's when Jack Della landed that knee. But Gilbert Burns was on his way to winning that fight. If he could have kept him down and did some damage in that third round. I think that Islam Makhachev is going to be the best wrestler that JDM has faced because, as you pointed out, Belal Muhammad's game plan was odd. Yes, Jack Della implemented things that made it difficult for Belal to take him down. But I think in Islam Makhachev, you've got a way better technical wrestler. And I think a more intelligent fighter than Belal Muhammad. And I believe that he will be relentless when he's chasing the takedowns. And I think that he will kind of do a Marab or a Chimaev or something like that and just be like, if I failed on one, I'm going straight for the second, straight for the third, because that's the easiest path to victory. And with a coach like Khabib in his corner, and
Is that sustainable at this weight for him?
well, that's another good question. I don't know, because we've seen Islam Makhachev slow down in previous fights before. Not too much. He's not like gassed out or anything, but it's certainly been there that he's not as potent. And so yeah, we might see a situation similar to the first Volk fight where Islam is doing well, but then all of a sudden towards the end, like round 5, Volk was on top, smashing him up because Islam looked shattered, and there was that whole thing about Volk got up and walked away with his hands in the air, and people had to almost lift Islam up because he was so tired. And another point on that is one person that Volk brought in for that first fight that made a big difference was it Craig Jones? Is Craig Jones or Gordon Ryan? I get them confused sometimes. I'm going to say it's Craig Jones, the grappling master. And Jack Della's brought him in as well. And so you've got someone that has got history of looking at Islam Makhachev, looking at what he does well, looking at what his weaknesses might be, and teaching these Aussie fighters how to, counteract what he does so well. And Jack Della being a much bigger guy than Volkanovski, much, much taller, much bigger, weightier, that might pose problems for Islam Makhachev. I would not be surprised if Jack Della keeps this on the feet largely and lands strikes and puts Islam in a bad spot. But equally, I wouldn't be surprised, given the history of the Chavez fight and Gilbert Burns as well, I wouldn't be surprised if in round 1 or 2, Islam gets him down, keeps him down, and gets a choke or something like that.
Yeah.
It really could go either way for me.
You're completely right. I know I chimed in with a 4th round stoppage for Jack, and I still think that, hopefully will be the case. But we're talking about the pound for pound governor here, and there is absolutely every chance that he will steamroll straight in early doors and lock a choke in, and get the win. I don't think it's going to happen, but I know it could. But I think it's Jack's time now. I really do, and I think this, maybe we're going to see Islam's going to get, like you say, cracked a bit harder than he's been cracked before, and realise that maybe that extra little bit of zip has gone because he's got that extra bit of weight, and he's fighting someone that, he's going to weigh in. Then Jack's then going to, I don't know what Jack fights at. Like, he's going to be a big boy, and. Yeah, I'm interested. I think it's an absolute banger. Come on, I'm going to push you for a pick. Come on.
I'm going to go Islam. I'm going to go Islam just to upset the Aussies.
Okay, of course
I love the Aussies. Well, I was literally working in Australia earlier this year, having like the time of my life. The Aussies hate me now. But I am going to go Islam. But again, I would not be surprised if Jack does it. What's the best thing for the division, do you think? Do you think the best thing for the division is Islam or Jack?
Jack, 100%.
I agree. Yeah, I think he'll be more active, and it's not like he's a long reigning champ who's already fought a bunch of guys. Loads of fresh matchups for him.
Islam goes back down. There's good fights to be had there.
Does Islam retire if he wins? Like, what else has he got left to achieve? If he becomes double champ, he's out of Khabib's shadow, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So he's got one more title win at lightweight than Khabib. Although, as we've done previously, we compared Khabib's and Islam's resumes a while back. And even though he's got one less title defense, I still think Khabib's got better wins overall than Islam, because I think Poirier was that bit older. Moicano was on really late notice. Volk on 12 days notice on the second one. Not great. Whereas Khabib had like Justin, Dustin. And yes, he did have a Conor McGregor that may very well have had too much proper 12 before stepping in the octagon. But I don't know. I feel like Khabib had just more the tougher competition and dealt with it so brilliantly.
I don't think Islam Makhachev can walk away from the welterweight division while theoretically the champ who gave up his belt because due to circumstance is still out. I think Shavkat is a big presence in that division, and I think Shavkat versus Makhachev's a very interesting fight. There's loads of interesting fights in that division. Can you
Yeah, man.
imagine how many people are going to be calling out Islam? Ian Gary's
Yeah.
going to be screaming from the mountaintops,
Yeah.
and if Sean Brady, I mean, Sean Brady's knocking on the door anyway, and if a win over. Yeah, we'll get to that anyway. We'll get to that, but yeah, I don't think he retires just yet.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, if for some reason he were to win, be a double champ, and then just immediately lay the belt down and go, I've done all I've needed to do. I can't imagine it costs a load of money I think he's already got to live where he lives. I think he's got like a massive ranch and stuff already there. Like, what are you fighting for? He can just be a coach with Habib and have like this amazing coaching team or something. But if he did lay the belt down, I mean, I don't know how much the UFC would be worried about that. They've just signed a huge new deal. And yes, having a star like Islam is good for business, but it's not like they're short of interesting contenders at welterweight, as we're going to talk about. Like, so many contenders.
Absolutely. Well, look, let's move down and we'll get to them in a bit. But before, we've got another title fight where there can be more double champ status.
Yeah.
I see the image for the event, and all four of them have got their belts over their shoulders, and now you think that looks so cool, man.
Look great.
Valentina Shevchenko is going to be fighting Zhang Weili. I think this is Zhang's time. I think she's timed this right. I think with Chevy is still, if not one of the female GOAT, like she's definitely on a little bit of a slide. I think she's definitely at the tail end of her career, and I think I've just been watching like videos of Zhang training, like she's looking hench as fuck, and the power, I mean, how did we see this going? Do we see Chevy just kind of keeping her at distance and bit of Muay Thai and picking her apart? How do you see it?
Man, I don't know. I think both women are like, what they like is Valentina older only by like a year?
Yeah.
Like they're like 37 and 36, something like that.
There's got to be more miles on the fight clock for Valentina.
Oh, for sure. And I've been saying for a while now, I think Valentina's on the decline. And I think that's right. I think she has been on the decline for a little while. But Valentina's so frigging good that her on the decline is still better than Grasso, Fioro, and all these other people that she keeps getting thrown at her. So yeah, I don't know. Zhang is so good, but Zhang has shown that she like her 2 losses to Rose. I know that was a while ago, but I just think
I think she's evolved as a fighter so much since then.
Maybe, and she does seem like she's on the up, but she's 36 at 115 pounds. That could just be that the competition isn't as good, and we're not recognizing that she's actually also on the decline, but just so far better than the rest of the division. I think ultimately this is the best women's fight you can make right now. This is better than Harrison Nunes. It's the more elite. They've got more accomplishments between two of them at the highest level in the UFC. This to me is an absolute magic fight. I cannot wait for it. I think both of them are so technically brilliant. Is it going to be a little bit of speed versus power? Is it going to be Zhang's speed versus Valentina's power? And when they get into the clinch and in grappling exchanges, will Valentina be able to use that extra weight and bully her a little bit? I wonder if maybe the answer is yes. I wonder if maybe Valentina can do it. Again, for me, this feels like it could be a coin flip fight. It could go either way. But I have to lean towards Valentina, even though she has shown hiccups in like those early Grasso fights and stuff like that. But I just feel like Valentina is always brilliant. The other thing is, I can just imagine the fight camps for both of these fighters, them both just doing an extra, like 10% or few extra laps or few extra rounds in the gym or whatever it is, because they know that the other person that they are fighting is going to be so dedicated, so driven, so technically brilliant. Just, I think they're going to bring the best out of each other. I almost want it to be a controversial split decision, because I wonder if it's a fight that we might see a trilogy of or something like that.
Yeah.
Because these two are the best we can ask for, I think, in women's MMA at the moment.
Mm.
So
Do
yeah,
you,
why not show us it loads of times?
if Shang wins, do you think Valentina retires?
No, I think she tries to a rematch. I think
Yeah,
she
yeah,
does.
I'd
I mean,
agree.
Natalia Silva's waiting in the wings, and I think she's brilliant. I really love her fight style, and it would be harsh on her to make her wait for a title shot for too long. But equally, I think Valentina is such a legend, such a big name, that I think you've got to give her the rematch. And that goes against everything that I normally say. You know, you got to have 3 title defenses before you get the immediate rematch. But some people are above all of that. They're just
Yeah.
they've done too much in the sport. And I think if Valentina says no, I want one more crack, then you give it to her.
Sean Brady versus Michael Morales?
Um, I feel for Sean, you know.
Because like, this is this does. I don't think this does loads for Sean Brady winning this.
No.
I think like Morales is way back behind him. Like and I think Sean Brady's got every right to be saying I should be fighting the winner of this anyway. Like, and yeah, and now he's got to fight an absolute savage who's on a ridiculous tear. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Sean, as you say, after losing to Bilal, he's on a 3-fight win streak, including quite a dominant win over Leon Edwards, former champ.
very dominant.
You know, he's ranked 2 in the world. You would think he's up next for the main event winner, but you know, he clearly still has to prove himself to the UFC. His fight style isn't the most uh exciting. Um, But his challenge, the way he has to prove himself is he has to go through a 26-year-old who's undefeated and is ranked 8th. And you're just like, there's so many narratives after winning a fight like this that make Sean Brady's achievement lesser. Because it's like, yes, he was undefeated, but he wasn't challenged. Who's he beat? He beat Magny and a Burns that it was very much on the way out and has been on the
And
decline for a
that's
really long
pretty
time.
much it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So when, as you've pointed out, it's a bit high
Max
risk.
Griffin and Jake Matthews. Like,
It's high risk, low reward, isn't it? Because
yeah.
it's like, yes, you keep your number 2 spot. Yes, you get onto a 4-fight win streak. But people say the kid was undefeated because he's not fought tough enough competition yet. He's only 26 years old. He'll get better. Would you beat him in 3 years' time? You know, stuff like that. And you just go, it's a stylistically favorable matchup for you because Morales is a striker. Like, all of these narratives can come out of this, and it makes people go, yeah, Sean Brady's good, but did you see what Ian Gary did to Bilal? Or do you see what Carlos Prates does to Leon Edwards? Or maybe even what Leon Edwards does to Prates, because Prates is a bit of a fan favorite. I don't know. I don't know that it guarantees Sean Brady anything off of the back of it, which is really harsh to say because you could argue he already deserves the shot. So it's really tricky for Brady.
Yeah. I think if Ian Gary does something special, I think he bypasses a lot of them.
Well, he's fighting the number 1 guy, so it would make sense that he gets the number 1 ranking, right? And he's a guy that some people really like him, some people really don't, but everyone's got an opinion on him. And as we know in combat sports, that's all that matters. Whether you're paying the money or tuning in to watch your guy win or to watch this guy get knocked out, you're tuning in. Whereas I think with Sean Brady, some people would go, I might skip it and go down the pub. But
Yeah.
and
And
that's just the reality of the situation. And so Yeah, if Ian Gary knocks out Bilal Muhammad, I think he leapfrogs Brady for sure.
Yeah. And Michael Morales must be rubbing his hands together. He's like, this
Yeah.
is such a great opportunity for him. You know, if
He's fighting the number 2 guy who a lot
yeah,
of people think is a potential top. Well, he is a potential title contender.
absolutely.
And you're only 26 years old. If you lose, all right, you go back to the drawing board. You've lost to a guy that could become champion soon. You go and rack up a few more wins, take it slow. By the time you're 28, 29, you're fighting for a belt or in a similar position. Like he's it's all upside for Michael Morales, really.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think he's ever fought a grappler like Sean Brady. Like,
No, it's
obviously,
tough.
he's Mr. You know, he's obviously a very exciting striker. And can he implement that and get the wrestler out there early doors? Otherwise, we could see him being sort of ragdolled by Brady, and you know, much the way that Leon Edwards was, and but I don't know, 18-0, it's exciting.
It is exciting. And then let's move on to the other welterweight fighting, like Edwards versus Prates. Like, I just need to know where Leon's head's at. 2 losses back to back. You know, one of them in not necessarily his hometown, but his home country. Has he lost the hunger, or is he still there? Is he still he was on Ariel's show this week. He was talking like he still wanted to be champion again. And for his sake, I hope that is really true deep down in his heart, that he still is wanting that and is still putting in the same time and effort in the gym that he was before he became champion, because he was on like a 9-fight win streak or whatever it was. I mean, he's a fantastic fighter, Leon Edwards.
When we
But
talk about him, Blake, we talk about him like this now, where like we hope that we see the Leon Edwards of old. But you know, we hope we see, because he's not looked that good. Like, you know, his last few outings, you know, and you know, he's a Brit, and you know, and we're big fans of Leon, but he hasn't looked exciting in the last couple of fights. And you know, the Bilal fight was just a terrible night for Leon Edwards. You know, not just losing the belt, but just the performance wasn't there. And you know, he obviously spoke about that. And then look what Brady done. It's like, I think this weekend, I think this is make or break for Leon Edwards. If he doesn't dispatch Prates, like, you know, and doesn't get the win, you know, I don't think he's way out of that title contender chat.
as we've said, there's too many contenders. If he loses this fight, he'll never be champ again. It's just it is that simple. It's harsh, but it's just I think that's just how it is. Welterweight is stacked. There's a plethora of contenders to choose from whoever wins in the main event on Saturday night. Leon Edwards will be so far down that list on a 3-fight losing streak. So yeah, it'll be really difficult for him. I do think there's a blueprint out there on how to beat Leon Edwards, and it is put him on the back foot and come forward with volume. But that volume usually leads to a takedown. That's what Brady did. That's what Bilal Muhammad did.
We're not going to get that.
We're not going to get that from Prates. Prates has to do it on the feet, and that's Leon's wheelhouse. That's where Leon shines, is on the feet. He's not the most... he doesn't have loads of volume in his strikes. He's not a huge pressure fighter. Sometimes
technical ability, mate. Technical
ability, picking his shots. He doesn't throw volume, but what he throws is accurate. And that's where it's going to be really interesting, because I think Prates is going to come forward, and I think he's going to try and put Leon out early and put him on the back foot, because we've seen Leon slightly struggle with that. But if Leon gets the reads, and even if he's on the back foot, slipping, protecting himself a little bit, and just firing the odd strikes out there, Leon does have the opportunity to land something big. However, I think if you're Leon Edwards, actually, Leon becomes the wrestler in this fight. We have actually seen Leon grapple really, really well in his lead up to that title shot. And there was even a moment where in his first fight with Usman, he took Usman down. Leon is an underrated grappler. And I think we might see Leon in situations where he gets a body lock, trips Prates, takes him down, and is then on top of him. I don't think this is going to be the most exciting of fights. I think Leon is going to be as comfortable and careful as he can be on the feet. And then when the opportunity comes, he is going to take Prates down and sit on him and try and do damage from top position. I think that's where Leon's going to win this fight, and I'm going to go with the Brit. I really want Leon to win this. As you said, we're fans of Leon. So, yeah, but I think that's how he's going to do it. I think he's going to grapple him and get a unanimous decision by taking him down a lot.
Is that enough to, have him in serious conversation about, a title run? It's not, is it?
No,
It's
but
like,
he's not going to be anyway for a little bit. Like, he needs to probably put 2 or 3 wins together. It took him ages for the UFC to give him a title shot.
oh,
They
of
didn't want
course.
to give him a title shot. Same with the likes of Bilal. He will need to put 2 or 3 wins together. But the main thing is he has to win. It doesn't matter how he wins right now. This is the most important thing. Just the W. That's all that matters. Then in his next fight, if he fights like an Ian Gary or someone like that, then we're like, you might need something a bit special to leapfrog a Shavkat or something. But for now, he just needs to win because a loss is catastrophic. So just win, and then you're going to have to get at least 1 more before a title shot anyway. So with this one, just win the fight. That's the main thing. And if he loses, I don't know how much we see from Leon again. I don't know if he just hopes for a Masvidal
We'll
fight.
literally probably just see him ending up fighting Mike Malott or someone like that. And I think they'll go, if you want to carry on fighting, you're going to be the next Neil Magny, and you're going to be that former champ that people have got to go through.
And look, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think it's not what Leon wants. When I hear Leon talk, he wants to be champ again. So if he wants that and then he's on a 3-fight losing streak, I think he just needs to reevaluate and say, what's most important to me? Do I want to keep earning money by fighting with all the dangers that comes with that? Or do I want an easier life? Because it's a hard life being a fighter. So, so it'd be interesting to see where he goes. But obviously, we're wishing Leon all the best.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bo Nichols fighting.
Oh, come on. As if you skipped over this fight. Dariush Benoit Saint-Denis.
No. That's. I was skipping over wanting to talk about Bo Nichols to get to this because, as I've got it on my listings, that is above.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Beneil versus Benoit.
Crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I don't really know. I feel like this is a bit of a coin flip fight as well. I feel like this
great. This is great.
This is just one of those ones where I don't care who wins, the fans win. Because this is going to be, whether it's grappling or striking, it's going to be dynamic. It's going to be fierce. Dariush is such a good grappler, and he's a dogged striker. And Benoit Saint-Denis, again, a very good grappler, but I think maybe not quite as good as Dariush.
It wasn't that long ago he beat Rufy, was it? What was that?
Yeah, but again, he took him down, didn't he? And he dominated him on the ground, I think. But yeah, I think Dariush is the better grappler. I'm not sure who's the better striker. Maybe Benoit Saint-Denis is the better striker, but Dariush again, he's just really, really, really dogged, and he keeps going. And I don't know what I want to see more. Do I want to see some crazy elite level grappling and how that works, or do I want to see a mad dogged striking battle? I think maybe I want to see the striking battle a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah, well, no, but the thing is, I like it. Like when I see like Dariush and Gamrot, or like Gamrot and Arman Sarukian, I really like those grappling exchanges. Umar and Dvalishvili, like I really like watching those grappling exchanges. I think they're fun and interesting to watch. But I wonder,
and a win here puts Benoit back in the top 10 as well.
Well, there you go. And you love to see that, but I love Dariush as well. I think maybe Benoit Saint-Denis getting a win here would show real growth in him as a fighter, and he's come back well from like that horrible Moicano loss. And then we could start getting excited about Benoit Saint-Denis again as someone that could get towards the top of the division. Dariush, I think we know who he is. He's that guy in the top 10 that if you're not a really good elite level guy like like a Charles Oliveira. I'm trying to think who else
Sarukian.
has beaten Rian Sarukian and people like that. Then you ain't beating Beneil Dariush. And I'm just not sure that Benoit is that guy. So I think Dariush is going to take this. What's your prediction?
I loved watching Benoit last time out, and I mean, I like, to be honest, I just want to see him win, so we get to see him fight in Paris again, because the noise is just one of the most euphoric things ever. And we've stood in the O2 when Paddy's walked out and witnessed that roar. But when you hear it come over on the TV, then Paris guys, it's just different level. You know, I think a couple of years ago, I think Beneil was the guy that I thought could really trouble Islam.
Yeah.
And he fell a little short before, you know, the opportunity presented itself. And I think he was, you know, he was looking so good. But I think one of the things with Beneil Dariush is when he gets a win and they put that microphone in his hand, he never calls his shot. He's just like, oh, I'll fight anyone. And it's like, oh, come on, man. Like, and I think, as we've seen with fighters like him and Leon and fighters that are pretty humble, like, the UFC don't seem to, you know, present people like that with too much opportunity. They like characters. They like people that have got plenty to say. And yeah, and I think like that hasn't done Beneil any favors. Just the fact that he's just a nice guy. And no, there's nothing wrong with that. He seems like a really lovely guy, but this is the fight game, and post Conor, you know, you everybody's got to have you know, be a content creator and have their personality, and it's so much more now that can get you your shot. And yeah, I've got a feeling Benoit's gonna get a finish. I think he could.
Oh, look, I think we see quite a lot of these fights differently. Actually, I think we've picked differently in almost every fight, other than Leon. Did you pick Sean Brady to win?
Did I pick Sean Brady to win? I think he will win.
Yeah. Okay. So we've both picked Leon and
Yeah.
Sean Brady, but other than that, we are on opposite sides of a lot of these fights, which is really fun.
Well, we should
I think
also
that shows
say that
how
we're
good the
fast
matchmaking is.
approaching the end of the year. We'll be doing our end of the
Yeah.
year show as well, where we will look back at our calls from last year and predict next year.
I think the fact that we're both picking differently on a lot of these fights just shows how good the matchmaking is.
Yeah, but
as well.
and I think
this
also
is a great card.
that's the thing. The fact that we're doing that does make it like this is going to be an exciting card.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Another interesting fight on the card is Erin Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Erin Blanchfield ranked 4th. Tracy Cortez ranked 8th. Erin Blanchfield was undefeated until losing to Manon Fiorot a little while ago. Then she bounced back with a win over Rose Namajunas that I remember being quite close. I've got vague memories of it being a very close fight. She's someone I picked a while ago to be a future champion. She hasn't quite lived up to that expectation yet. I still think she could. She's still young, but I'm not as confident in that as I was like a year or so ago when I was picking her to be a future champion.
When I picked Jack Della Maddalena.
Sure. But Tracy Cortez is she's another fighter that's just only one UFC loss, and that was to Rose Namajunas in 2024. She's very inactive though, Tracy Cortez. She doesn't get much momentum going. So even though she's winning fights, this will be the first time that she's fought twice in a year since 2019. 2020, one fight, 2021, one fight, 2022, one fight, 3, one fight, 4, one fight. It's just, you know, she hasn't got any momentum going.
It's not good.
And I think that you need to be active to get the fans on side and to get the UFC on side. I think they want people that are going to be active. You can't be a champ and in the lead up to your title shot, you've been fighting once a year.
Yeah.
So I hope she goes, whether she wins or loses, I hope she stays injury free because, as I said, it's the first time she's fought more than once in a year since 2019.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Blanchfield here, though. I think if Blanchfield gets the takedowns, then Cortez is in trouble.
Yeah,
So I'm
absolutely.
leaning Blanchfield.
Absolutely.
Is there any other fights that you're particularly interested in? I can
Uh,
shout some out, but I've not got
I
any
think
real
Roman
notes.
Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez has got all the signs of a great war. Like, you know,
That's going to be a knockout, isn't it?
neither of them are ever in boring fights. So
No.
I think we've got a great scrap at middleweight there. Just shout out former guest of the show and one of the nicest guests we've ever had, Angela Hill.
Oh, yes.
He's fighting. I think she's early doors, and yeah, she's fighting Fatima Klein, who I don't know a great deal about, I'm afraid. Sorry, but yeah, best of luck to Angela Hill. Any other fights that you wanna shout out on the card?
Well, look, Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira it's an interesting fight. Rodolfo Vieira is an elite level jiu-jitsu guy. Has won all sorts of tournaments and titles in the jiu-jitsu world. Bo Nickel, you would imagine, will be able to deal with him. I always think the elite level wrestlers can deal with the elite level jiu-jitsu guys. They know how to stay safe and do damage from top position. But it's going to be an interesting one. Bo Nickel suffered that first loss in his MMA career against Renier de Ridder. And it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back from that. I think he needs to be, as we were just talking about with Chase Cortez, needs to be more active. He needs to get more experience in the cage. And then maybe we can see him do great things in the UFC. But right now, it's all a bit up in the air for him. There was all the hype, and now it's going to see how can you respond to your first big setback. So eyes are going to be on Bo Nickel, particularly in America.
And and hopefully he does make a statement. And just casting my eye back down the whole card, like I think we're in for a really good night. I really do. And this, this is an early doors one in America. We've got to start late for that one, but we also get to watch Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. as well
On the same night.
On the same night. So yeah, combat sports fans, you're in for a proper treat. Like,
Oh, part of me does want to stay up late and watch this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. It'd be my first kind of like, I'll be working so often and then I'll get back and be like, I just want to go and watch some fights. Bye, family. I don't think that's going to fly. But and then be tired.
it's Saturday night off work. I've actually got a night off, so yeah, I'm going to watch the boxing, and then we'll have to see what happens.
Normally as well, I wake up at like 6 in the morning on a Sunday, and I'll watch the main card first, and then go back and watch the prelims.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of prelims on this I wouldn't want ruined. Am I going to have to start with the prelims and watch it all the way through? And then by the time I get to like the really big kind of like title fights, I'll have the kids running around and doing all sorts. And I'll be like, I can't probably focus. I don't know what to do with it.
Why is it so hard to be a UFC fan in the UK? God, they don't make it easy for us.
They don't.
Well, look, we'll be back next week. We should also shout out that this show is sponsored by Fat Candy. We forgot to mention that at the beginning. And Fat Candy are our long-time sponsors. You can use the discount code SWEETMMA. We'll be back next week. When, we don't know, because like you say, Blake's overseas filming, and I've got a lot of work on as well, but we will endeavour to do our best to get the post-fight show out at some point next week for your listening pleasure. And yeah, enjoy the fights at the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.